Hello, my name is Angelicia Obregon, and welcome to my presentation on depression and suicide in Australia's Aboriginal and Torres Strait communities. And I apologize ahead of time, I'm just getting my voice back after losing it for about a week. The Indigenous population of Australia are the Aboriginal and Torres Strait people. Colonization efforts removed them from their land, brought disease, and eventually forced assimilation efforts. The assimilation efforts include relocation, camps, genocide, and the removal of children called the Stolen Generation. Although considered history, these events left long-term devastation to family units and traditional lifestyles. The Stolen Generations are considered a past event, yet only ended in the 1960s, and has only had acknowledgement and reconciliation efforts beginning in the 1980s. The destruction to tradition and population left people isolated and to make their own way in a post-colonial Australia, with Indigenous people making up only 3% of Australia's population. Long-term effects include poverty, lack of resource access, depression, and high suicide rates. Depression is a mood disorder resulting with low mood, energy, and motivation. Although common, it can be difficult to diagnose and treat since cause and duration vary person to person. This does, however, affect daily activities, and its impact ranges almost day to day. Depression ranges in duration from temporary to chronic, in severity from mild to severe, and persistence, or strength of the episode. This is reflected in the range of symptoms from general lack of interest in activities to suicide. People considered to be at risk include people who have had mental illness, chronic health issues, drug or alcohol abuse, trauma, and a separation from country either culturally or spiritually, as according to the Australian Indigenous Health InfoNet page. This is a big acknowledgement to widespread depression in Indigenous populations. Western treatments pursue two sides of depression: chemical imbalance, treated with antidepressants, or trauma, treated with psychological therapy, but usually a combination. Difficulty is many things can trigger depression, and if left untreated or given the wrong medication, risk of suicide can rapidly increase. A 2012 study released in the Medical Journal of Australia looked into rates of self-reported depression and mood disorders. The results were that the rates for Indigenous people were continually higher than non-Indigenous people, rates being Indigenous depression rated up to 3 times higher than non-Indigenous people's. Suicide was thought to be a rare occurrence, but with more studies being done, it's been revealed to happen at much higher rates than expected. And when statistics are analyzed, it shows suicides occur at higher rates in marginalized communities than in the majority population, such as Indigenous populations in post-colonial regions. Australia's Department of Health released a study showing not only was suicide quite common in the Indigenous population, but this had been increasing since the 1980s, and by 2012, suicide rates for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders was double that of the non-Indigenous population. Most suicides occur before the age of 35. Females' highest rates occur between 20 to 24 years, with Indigenous rates 5 times higher, and males' highest rates 25 to 29 years of age and 4 times higher than the non-Indigenous population. Suicide statistics and self-reported depression rates show this is an issue, but not to forget there are also high rates of self-harm. The issue with self-harm is it's 2.2 times higher in Indigenous populations, but if potential suicides were added to suicide rates, it raises the already shocking statistics. There are many causes that have a cumulative effect on Indigenous people, but the main cause seems to be that the inequality they face the results of poor physical health, meaning that the Indigenous Australians have higher rates of disease and injury that correlate to the rates of depression and mental health issues. Indigenous Australians are a marginalized community. This doesn't just mean potentially racist encounters at the grocery, but that policy affecting resources to housing and health are not in their favor. The fact that health issues correlate with mental health and suicide rates show obvious flaws in resources. The general situation many Indigenous Australians face is that of sovereignty. Due to racist policies that have been minimally revised since the assimilation era, most policies still promote assimilation into white culture and do not support traditional lifestyles. As part of this resistance, many Indigenous Australians live in what we call fringe camps. This also allows them to hold on to many aspects of traditional life with the physical ability to access more modern resources of city life, although it does not help them receive equal health care. As discussed, low physical health is directly correlated to low mental health, but a less discussed issue is the idea called the historical trauma perspective. In short, it means if ancestors suffered greatly, the modern descendants are prone to greater stress levels and greater health issues and are less able to cope with them. Taking historical trauma perspective and marginalization of Indigenous people in policy and healthcare, the high rates of suicide, self-harm, and depression have clear groundings. Fortunately, efforts have happened to change some of these issues, largely beginning with the acknowledgement of Indigenous rights. I hope these efforts continue and that studies mentioned are used to create positive change, and thank you for listening.